As you all know, today is 4th of July, where the women and men gave their lives for our very freedom. So those of us who are living, we have an obligation to live our lives to the absolute fullest. Life is one big tug of war, and you don't win that tug of war by pushing the fucking rope. You have to pull that motherfucker. And a lot of times you have to pull yourself through life. This morning, I did not want to get up, so I had to pull my ass out of fucking bed. But guess what? The more and more I got into that run, each fucking step into that run, I started gaining more and more confidence. But to gain that fucking confidence, you have to fucking be willing to pull yourself out of bed, pull yourself out of a funk, pull yourself out of whatever the fuck life is throwing at you to gain that confidence. By the fucking time the run was over, I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. I once again beat your ass. You gotta be willing to find the confidence. Stay in the fight, stay in the war, stay in the battle, armor your mind.
Woo! Stay in the fight, stay in the battle. Happy 4th of July. Dreamers, how are we feeling today? We have some fireworks going off late night. Super excited today. We are expecting and we are getting miracles. We're in celebration. Every day is a celebration. So grateful to be on here. We've got the morning routine vibrating high. We've got so many great things happening this week already. And today, I've actually got a little bit of insight, right? For those of you that don't know, I'm actually going to go ahead and allow you guys to get a little bit more in-depth knowledge on actually how powerful today really is. So before we go ahead and get into this on my 4th of July message, this is going to be a great one. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of gratitude coming in for today. Talina in the building. Shane, what is going on? Good morning. Good morning. Let me get IG tapped in, and it's game time. 4th of July message. Freedom isn't free. Woo, it's going to be a good one today. I love it. Here we go, family. So I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm so thankful for the 4th of July, another day to go ahead and celebrate a lot of different things, right? To be able to celebrate some of our soldiers, to be able to celebrate the veterans, to be able to celebrate Independence Day, right? I'm happy to be able to see and witness each of you stepping into the highest version of ourselves as we grow every day. 1111, paint your vision. There we go. Somebody's calling me. There we go. Good stuff. All right. So here we go. 1111, paint your vision. I'm grateful to be able to go ahead and grow every day. I'm thankful for the summertime because this is the summer of separation where we really go ahead and take heed of what it is that we're really tapped into every day. So here we go, family. Let's go ahead and get into my topic, right? Today's Independence Day. So I don't know how many of you guys know this or not, but I want to allow you to go ahead and see how powerful this company truly is, right? Shane knows about this story, okay? So for those of you that don't know, right, I've been in this company since 2016, 2017, right? It's been a long time. Shane, Selena, almost just as long, right? And it's so fascinating to know the story behind this company, how it was created, and actually what day it was actually born. So let's just go ahead and go back in time. Today is July 4th, 2023. Well, you see, IM was actually born in 2014. And guess what day it was actually created? It just so happened to be today, right? July 4th, way back in 2014. So think about that. In 2024, this is going to be the 10-year mark that we are actually held down, had the flag planted. And Chris Terry, I don't know if you guys know this or not, Chris Terry has never taken any money from the platform, right? Chris Terry's never taken any money from the platform. So when I first met him, I had never met anybody that's made over $85 million net worth between trading, between real estate. And so when he showed me this platform, I saw people that were charging thousands of dollars to come in here and learn about trading, to come here and learn about e-commerce, to come in here and learn about all these skill sets that we have. And he said, you know what? I want to actually make this affordable, right? For those of you that don't know, Chris Terry is not somebody that came from money. He's a normal human, just like you and I. He's from New York, didn't come from a lot of money, but he had a disgusting work ethic, right? He was passionate for leveling up. He was passionate for helping people. So along the road on July 4th, 2014, he ended up he was on, I forget where he was on a cruise somewhere exotic, and he's literally overlooking the ocean. He's overlooking somewhere just, I forget where he said, some crazy views. And he had an epiphany. He said, you know what? I want to make trading it's accessible to the newest person. right? Whether somebody's just getting out of college, somebody's a single mom, somebody's working construction. I want to, right, out in Italy, Talina, 9 years ago, to think about it, it's crazy. He literally had an epiphany where he's like, you know what? I'm going to create an educational platform. I'm going to create a system where the newest person can actually come in here, learn these skill sets, not have to worry about going on Google and going on YouTube University, losing a lot of money, getting a lot of misinformation. So he actually went out and he created this academy 9 years ago today, July 4th, back in 2014. And it's so amazing to see this vision continually manifest over the years. When I first got started, there was only 1,200 customers. There was only one product, and Chris Terry would go live every night of the week. That was it. That was all that we had access to. 1,200 customers, one harmonic scanner, and trading. And you guys can see literally what we've developed and grown into over the years. Think about it. We went from just having one scanner to now we're deeply developed inside of crypto, inside of e-commerce, stocks, futures, you name it, social media, mindset, right? We've got all of these different areas that we've been able to grow and adapt. And that's the next thing that I learned, right? The new illiterate of the 21st century is not somebody who can't pick up a book and read, right? The new illiterate of the 21st century is somebody who cannot take the information that they've learned, be able to unlearn that, and then learn something new. That's the new illiterate of the 21st century. Those that are too closed-minded, not willing to learn new information, right? How many people do you think are kicking themselves in the back because they didn't think Bitcoin was real? They thought crypto was a scam back in 20. Think about that. Back in 2017, back in 2016, they didn't think it was real. Now people are kicking themselves in the butt saying, you know what? I wish I was more open-minded. I wish I would have listened to some of the individuals who are really vetted inside of this space. Well, the same thing is going to happen again. Those that are closed-minded right now in this time, over the next 24 months, that aren't willing to learn, that aren't willing to get around new information, are going to be wondering, kicking themselves because they didn't open up their mind. So even for myself, I don't know if you guys know this, when I first joined this academy, I've already done 30 different companies, right? And if you didn't know, I didn't make money in any of them. You name it, I probably sold it, right? Energy drinks, hair products, vitamins, shoes, real estate. I never really made money in any of them. And the reason why I got so excited about this platform, this was the first thing that I saw where I never had to rely on anybody else. We could just come in here, learn the skill sets, and be able to go ahead and master them. But you know what happened? I built a global organization on accident. Just by documenting the journey, just by showing myself on the charts, me learning every day, me getting around mentors. And eventually people started to ask me, what is it that you're doing? Why are you so excited every day? Who are these mentors that you're working with on a daily basis? So the best part about this platform is understanding that, number one, we couldn't be in a better place with the right time at the right time with the right people with this window of opportunity that we have. And here's the second best part, right? Our mentors, I gave you guys this nugget a couple of days ago, okay? Our mentors used to ask us all the time, what business are you in, right? So we're in the business of learning these skill sets like trading, e-commerce, building a brand. But now the second question is this: what business are you really in, right? Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. It's not about just where it is that we are right now. Who can catch the trend of what's coming into the future, right? I want you guys to star this in your notes. Write this down. Star this right here. You ready? 80% of millionaires did one thing. You ready? Here's the secret. 80% of millionaires did one thing. I'm going to write it for you. They caught a trend before everybody else. That's it. Real simple. You want to go out and become a millionaire. One of the fastest ways, one of the simplest ways to go out and create that type of success is to catch a trend before it becomes obvious to the masses. Think about everything that we look at right now. Uber, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Netflix, all of these things that's around. You know what's funny? Here's another funny story. Gary Vee, okay? Drop a 2 down below if you guys know who Gary Vee is. Here's a funny story for you to show you the power of timing, the power of learning how to adapt in a changing economy. Here's a funny story. You ready? Check this out. Gary Vee's best friend created Uber. Gary Vee's best friend launched and created Uber. You know what's funny? He asked Gary Vee for a $25,000 investment at the time, and he said no. He said no. If he would have invested, right, a little bit earlier, Gary Vaynerchuk, right? If he would have invested a little bit earlier, he would have had over $300 million. But he didn't believe it. He didn't see the future. Kind of just like Blockbuster, they didn't understand how the world was going to shift, and then Netflix just completely took the world by storm. Think about how much the world is shifting. Our parents used to tell us, don't get in a car with strangers. Welcome to Uber and Lyft, right? So many things right now, like most people, old companies are spending traditional money on radio, on TV, on all these different types of advertising. Well, the new companies, they don't spend any money on any of those. It's strictly word of mouth, right? This is why Cash App, you guys can send your link to somebody and get paid $10 to $15. Uber and Airbnb, you're never going to see a commercial for them, but they send their links out with word of mouth because we are the advertising. So when I'm talking about freedom today, here's my topic, okay? We're talking about freedom isn't free. So now let me go ahead and pull all of this together. Let me go ahead and put a bow so you guys can understand how I'm gonna correlate this, okay? Everybody, yes, for everybody in the States at least, right? I know some people are tuning in outside of the States, but for those that are inside of the States, we're born in America, right? It's called land of the free. Well, if we're being honest today, if we're being true, here's the truth, okay? The way the system is set up, the way the government is set up, the truth is none of us are built to go ahead and live a free life. None of us are in a program that is designed for us to go ahead and live free. If you haven't noticed that already, allow me to explain. There's a reason why the news exists. There's a reason why porn exists. There's a reason why everywhere you look on the media, it's a bunch of negativity, right? There's a reason why most people you listen to, they're speaking about lack. They're speaking about misery, okay? The masses are what they like to call drifters, okay? And the whole goal of the media, right? Every organization has an agenda. So if you guys don't notice, behind pharmaceuticals, right, behind some of the biggest companies that we know, there's people behind that have an agenda, that are moving people like puppets so they can move and coordinate to their agenda. So all the pharmaceutical pills that's pushed out to us all the time, guess what that does to our thinking? That limits our thinking. It kills brain cells. Guess what our body does with all of the junk food, all the processed things that we eat on a daily basis? Causes cancer, causes disease, causes illnesses, right? Think about everything that we watch on a daily basis. You cannot turn on the TV. You can't go on social media without seeing any negativity. There's a reason why that is. Because the 1%, the 5%, they don't want the rest of the world to be free. They don't want them to have access to this elite information. Therefore, most people end up living slaved inside of their mind their entire life. And I've been there. I know what it's like to succumb to the news, to the media, to all of this negativity that's going on in the world. And that's what they want. That's the truth. So I have 3 keys for you guys today to understand how we can go out and live free and understand this at a deeper level. Number 1, to go ahead and live a free life in the land of the free, it's going to take an immense amount of sacrifice, if we're being honest, to achieve any objective that we're looking to get to. Whether it's individual objective or even a team objective, I can promise you right now, there's sacrifice that is going to be involved. I had to give up things when I first started. I had to give up going out. I had to give up associating with a bunch of negative influence. I had to give up a lot of things that weren't serving me inside of my life. So the first step to go ahead and really achieve freedom is, number 1, sacrifices. The I that's sitting right here on the screen is not going to be the same person that's elevated in the next 6 months into a year when we look in the mirror. It's going to be a completely different person. I'm telling you that. The old us has to die to get to the new levels. And that takes sacrifice. I had to sacrifice listening to music. I used to listen to music all day long. In the morning, I would wake up. In the car, I would wake up and listen to it. Going to the gym, I'd listen to it. Getting home, I'd have it blasting inside of my house. I sacrificed listening to music. You know what I listen to now? Audios. Personal development. Les Brown, Jim Rohn, right? A lot of people listen to Young Thug. They don't know people like Holton Bugs, right? Jim Rohn, the Carnegies, all of these top 1%ers, I became obsessed with learning and filling up my brain, right? Kevin Trudeau. I see Adams literally on his 7th day already in a row, busting out the Your Wish is Your Command series. I'm talking about taking notes, pages full, ink on the pen's running out. That's the type of obsessed I was coming into this journey, because I knew getting out of college, I saw it everywhere. Most people getting out of college, they don't make more than $10, $15, $20 an hour. And we just spent all of this time, all of this money to get out to make this much an hour. I started to question everything. What is this matrix that we're living in? Some people are going to get a doctorate degree to go work until they're 50, 60 years old, to go pay back their loans until the day that they die. And I started to question the system. And I started to understand that if we don't question everything that's going on, we're going to succumb to somebody else's agenda, to somebody else's dreams. You see, if we don't plan our dreams, we're going to fit into somebody else's dreams that they already have planned. And that didn't seem very exciting to me. This is why my name literally became Define Dreams. Because I had an epiphany, get out of school. I was sleeping in my car. I was like, oh my goodness. The reason why most people are at where they're at, getting out of college and just in life in general, they've never taken the time to define their own dreams. What do we desire? Where do we want to go? What type of impact do we want to leave? What is that dash going to be in our life when our gravestone is there? We have 3 pieces on a gravestone, realistically. There's a date, there's a dash, and there's a date. And our entire life is summed up by that little dash. So my question started to become, is that dash meant to be just going to school, getting out of college, getting a family, paying bills, and working and dying? That's the American dream. That's freedom to 95% of people, well, of what they know. When you become woke, when you break out of the matrix, you start to see there is so much more to freedom than that. There is so much abundance available to you and I. It's not even funny, but it takes being able to understand these things. So tip number 1, it's going to take a little bit of sacrifice. Okay. I'd be lying to you. I'd be a bad mentor if I told you it wasn't going to take sacrifice to get to these levels. Okay. Short-term sacrifice, right? Short-term. What are we willing to sacrifice short-term to lead to a long-term substantial life? I'm not talking about giving these things up forever. I'm not talking about cutting, maybe your friends out that aren't serving you forever. I'm talking about maybe just for a season. This is a season where going out is not going to serve us, right? I'm talking about all of the summer parties, all of the wasted Wednesdays, the thirsty Thursdays in the summer. Yeah, that's great. But I promise you, if you understood how far a 90-day period can propel us, I'm talking about years later, you would look at 90 days completely different. Okay, so just a short period of time to go ahead and give up, to go up. All right, that's number 2. It's a season, right? There's seasons in our life. Number 2 is here. Growth will happen. We are in the state of short-term sacrifice. This is what I'm getting in number 2. Short-term sacrifice for a major. Okay, watch this. This is from Alex Morton right here. This whole training is from Alex. Growth will happen while you're in a state of short-term sacrifice. Now, in that season, you must understand that major sacrifice is not forever. We have short-term sacrifice. We also have major sacrifices. I'll give you guys an example. When I lost my sister, when I was sleeping in my car, I made one of the biggest shifts in my life. I'm talking about I was skinny, I was depressed, I was broke, busted, and disgusted, and I made a decision. Right there at that moment, I had to make some major sacrifices inside of my life. I had to literally cut out negative influences. I was going out and eating. I didn't have money to go out and do that, right? I wasn't reading books. I wasn't listening to audios, and I literally made a shift on a dime. And even at the time, I didn't even have a connection with my creator. I was still working on that because I was so frustrated at God, asking myself, how could you take my sister at such a young age? So that was something I needed to heal. That was something internally that I needed to really work on, but I had to sacrifice a lot of distractions in my life so I could start to get clarity on where it is that I was going, who I wanted to be, and who I wanted to impact. And it goes the same way for all of us on this journey. None of us can run away from that. It's going to take some it's going to take some deep work to really go ahead and make these dreams come into fruition. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3, the reward or harvest will be worth it. Okay. The reward or harvest is going to be worth it. You see, we have seasons in life. We just talked about that, right? We have the winter, we have the spring, we have the summer, and we have the fall. We have seasons for planting. We have seasons for nurturing. Guess what the summertime is? The summer, this is the time to nurture those seeds that we've been planting in the spring. Some of you have been on this journal run for 300 plus days, right? Some of you have been on it for 30 days, 60 days. I know John just smacked 120 days. Congratulations, brother. This is what it takes. Nurturing these seeds over the summertime, plugged into the Go Lives, asking questions, calling our mentors, right? Staying tapped in. There's a reason why a phone dies, and that happens only when it's not what? Plugged in. So I can tell you guys without a doubt, for a fact, staying plugged in this summer, you don't want to miss some of these crypto plays. You don't want to miss some of these crypto investments. You don't want to miss some of this information that I promise you, people are going to be kicking themselves a year or two down the line when they see so many others that have tapped into this information and they were like, man, why didn't I just take this seriously? Trust me, I've seen it year over year, time after time. And I want to be the one so you can say, D, I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you at least let me know. Because I don't want a year or two to go by and be like, man, why didn't I invest? Why wasn't I tapped in? This is the time. This is the time to plant the seeds, nourish these seeds. So guess what? In the fall, now we have what's called harvest. Okay. Now we're going to have these fruits that are off these trees, so many abundant fruits. Imagine just walking by some of your favorite fruit trees, and you can literally just, you've got a whole bag to just toss them in there. That's what happens when we do the work. We plant the seeds and we stay consistent. I know that. I've seen it from anybody that you see that's successful. I've studied it. I became obsessed with it. And I've noticed that these are things that none of us can run away from. There's no elevator for some of these things. But that's the beauty of it. This is why they call it the journey. This is why the journey is so fun. It's adventurous every day. It's fun to wake up and step into the highest version of ourselves. It's fun to go ahead and do things that make us a little bit nervous. Because inside of the unknown is where the magic happens. You never know where that conversation, where that video, where we're taking out and learning that one Go Live could take us for today. Huge. This is keys. So to go ahead and end it off, here's what he said about number 3. Okay. He said the reward or harvest will be worth it. Standing on the mountain, looking down at everything about this, just standing on top of the mountain, looking down at everything that we've been able to grow through, all the trials, all the tribulations, all the curveballs, right? All the moments where we broke down and we were crying, saying, man, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I can make this happen. I know what that's like. I've been there. I have videos tucked in my vaults that I'm going to unleash. Trust me, I know what that's like. Okay, your mentors have all been there. If they haven't, it's coming soon. It's coming one day, right? We all get tested. Nobody that's great has not been tested. I can promise you that. So here's how he finishes it, right? You're going to be standing at the top of that mountain, looking down at all of the things that we grew through. And that is one of the most rewarding feelings ever. And the other people that hated, the other people that talked to you, guess what? They have nothing to say. There's nothing people are going to be able to say to you because you went out and you did that. You accomplished that through all of the breeze, through all of the storms. So to me, I would rather go through the journey, grow through the journey than ever just be handed success. There's no value in that. There's no journey in that. There's no real in-depth emotion with that. You see, I would never be able to appreciate the sunshine if I wasn't sleeping in my car on some of the rainiest days where rain was coming inside of my window. I had mold inside of my car, and it got to a point where I had literally bugs infested in my car because it was so wet. I used to live like that. But I would never even be able to appreciate being able to sit here in the sun and just be able to take a deep breath and really appreciate it if I didn't grow through that. Because how many people do you know that somebody that's just given money and they're very stuck up. They're assholes. They don't understand the journey. They don't understand what real work ethic is and what it takes. See that all the time. That's why when we talk about leadership, I don't just look up to somebody because they've made a lot of money, because they have the houses, they have the penthouse, they have the cars. That's cool, but they can still be an asshole. They haven't truly taken the time to develop themselves, do the deep work, go through the real journey. That's a real leader to me. Somebody who's actually went through it, lost it, and actually been able to get it back because they know what it takes. They have experience. They have wisdom. So along this journey, I look to lean in to the times where it gets a little bit tough, because this is the times where we grow. This is where we learn. And this is what makes the climb so worth it. So dreamers, that's my training for today on how to really go out, be free, live a life, living in our authentic self, our true self, and going out and maxing this one shot that we have. We only get one shot. We only get one shell to really live in. Let's make the most of it. Let's see what this body can do. Let's see what type of impact we can make. Let's go and travel and see how many beautiful places and cultures the world has to offer. It's wide open. Whatever success, whatever abundance is to you, it's wide open. It's available for you. Success is different to everybody. Success to somebody might be in a penthouse in the hills. To somebody else, it might be taking an RV to go and travel around the world. But take time and figure out what that is for you. For you, not anybody else. What excites you? What gets you passionate? What's really freedom to you? If money wasn't an option, what would you be doing? Would you be fishing? Would you be on the beach? Would you still be growing? But start to identify a clear vision for yourself. And I promise you, when that happens, everything starts to move out of your way. Because this is how laws of the universe work. We get clear on what we want. And guess what? What we think about most of the time, we become. What we think about, we bring about. Where focus goes, energy flows. So dreamers, I hope you guys got a little bit of value today, but I hope you guys got the fact that we all have access to go out and live a life of freedom, to live a life by design. But it takes a little bit of sacrifice. It's going to take being able to harvest and nurture these seeds. And it's going to take keeping God, your source, whatever that is, at the center. Because there's going to be times. So family, I love you guys. Go out and be great. If nobody told you that today, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. Happy 4th of July. Go out and get your freedom. Go out and be great. And go out and don't be afraid this next half of the year to use your voice, to be bold, and to share your story, because others are waiting to go ahead and hear it. I love you guys. Remember, it's your favorite entrepreneur. Define dreams we can be, do, and have. Anything we can hold in our mind, we can hold it right here in our hand. Have a phenomenal 4th of July. Get some fireworks in. Document content today. Love you, Dream Team. Let's go out. Have a phenomenal rest of July. It's game time. Jumping to new levels. Let's go.